video is about the Seven Mitzvot of Bnei Noach, Shevea Mitsvos Bnei Noach. This concept is very ancient. It's from the time after the big flood and the whole story with the Noah in English. In Hebrew, the name is Noach. That's the original name. Noach has been, if you know a little bit about the Torah stories, he's hearing God telling him to build the ark, and there's going to be a big flood, and the whole story with the animals coming in pairs. And bottom line, Noach and his family, his wife Naamah, his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Yefet, and their wives were saved. And from there, after the big flood, mankind started to grow, and they were all descendants of Noach and his wife and his sons. So right after the flood, the concept of the Seven Mitzvot Bnei Noach are being told to mankind. Those are 7 laws that are they are from the Torah, and they are meant for all mankind to keep, whether you're Jewish or not. You should always keep those 7 mitzvot. This is just to help the world to stay very, moral and humble and kind to people and animals. The first mitzvah, the first law, is not to worship idols. Now, when we're talking about idols, it means that you have to know that there's only one God. And not worshiping idols means not to bow to idols, not to use incense, not to sacrifices to idols, just no rituals that you do for idols, and you just take it on yourself that you believe in one God, and you stop with that. Number 2, not to curse God. So always to remember to be appreciative. God gave us life. God brought us to the world, even when we are upset about things. Not to curse God, not to use the word God in any way that is disrespectful. Number 3, not to kill, not to murder, not to kill. It's different things. Of course, not to murder, but also not to do abortions unless, of course, it's a medical emergency. No merciful death or killing. And also, you need to note that even when you are embarrassing someone and you're shouting at them in front of everyone in a public place, this is just like murdering. So if you have to say something to someone that is harsh, you just go and tell them privately, not next to everyone, because humiliation like that is kind of like killing the soul of a person. Number 4 is not to commit adultery or incest, and it talks for itself. In this law say that you cannot commit any kind of sexual behavior that is not in respect to others. Of course, you should be loyal to your wife or to your husband. You're not allowed to have in this prohibition, they include no relations with the mother, the wife of the father, the sister, the daughter, the wife of your friend, because that's, it's not yours, it's also adultery. No sexual relations with someone who is not human, like animals, and not and in this law they say to keep the relations between a woman and a man. And also, of course, we want to help mankind to stay in dignity and not to harm anyone. When we, it should be with love and we should be loyal to each other and not to harm our partners with hurting them and their feelings, or going and hurting and committing relations in the way that is against the Torah. Number 5 is not to steal. In Hebrew it's called gezel. Gezel is a deeper level of stealing, because it's not just that stealing is if you go and, God forbid, rob a bank. Stealing is also, let's say, a boss can kind of find the ways to just kind of chip all those little pennies out of their employees' salaries. So that's stealing just as well. You should always make sure that you give all the money to everyone that you owe to. You should not steal from your friends. Taking someone's property is stealing. Taking someone's wife is also something that belongs to them, and to they are married in a holy a covenant between them, and you shouldn't take the wife or the husband either. Number 6, to establish courts of justice. So every moral society should have courts and judges that, of course, would judge in a moral way, not just because someone is rich so they can get away with everything and the poor get punished. Everyone should know that they have judges that respect the law, and that the whole court system is built on morality. Number 7, which is the last one, is not to eat flesh from a living animal. And this one is because it's very cruel. And if you think about it, there are some areas in the world that they're still doing that. They're taking completely live animals and eat them as they are, without killing them, or ripping some pieces of an animal when it's still alive. This is so cruel, and it really, the pain of the animal, we're one in this world, and the pain of the animal is hurting people too and hurting the world. We want to try to make our world a more happy and kind and compassionate place. So we should have more compassion to animals. In a way, even the diseases that we started getting, like swine flu and chicken flu and all those diseases that are now in the world, they're actually plagues that their root is from animals, and it's because humans became so cruel to animals. So the main thing is that we shouldn't eat a part. If we had, we got permission only after the plague, after the flood, sorry. Before that, people were all vegetarians, and I can tell you about myself, I'm vegetarian too. And after there was permission, because the souls, there's a whole thing, I'm not going to go into that, but the souls changed the directions because of people's sins, and then they got permission to kill the animals in order to eat them if they need them to survive. But you have to do it in a very merciful way if you have to do it, and not to hurt them when they're alive, because it's cruelty. All these laws are here for us, people, to protect our world. Now a little bit about us, Let's Jewish. We're here to help people that want to know more about Judaism and wants to convert in an Orthodox conversion. I'm a certified teacher for Orthodox conversion, and we are here to help you with any question you have. But you have to know that Judaism is not missionary. A lot of other religions, there would be it would be very easy. In Judaism, they would usually ask you, why should you? It's hard, you have to keep kosher, you have to keep a lot of laws, to keep the Sabbath. But if you feel that this is what your soul really wants and this is who you are, then it's a different story, you really want it. But just so you know, there's some countries that today they're even not letting their people to choose freely, and in their countries it's illegal to become to convert to Judaism. But nevertheless, we're here to help you. Please, you can write in our comments, and we'll do our best to help and to answer any question you have. And all the best.